Thank you, Father, for all things. Thank you for the struggle, and thank you for the good things, and thank you for the pain, and thank you for the pleasure. Thank you for the dark. Thank you for the light. Thank you for creating evil. It's just necessary. It's got to be that way. Thank you for the righteous, those that try to walk upright, those that narrow self, and without the opposition, we wouldn't have the other. So polarity, positive, negative. So that's what it's about. So I come in here a little, I don't know. I think this is the time where I was telling my son where the sun would be putting out some extra energy, and well, I'm feeling it. If you see that comet Atlas, I told you the sun responds to anything that gets close to it. So boom, shakalaka. 2 more X flares, big, massive, a massive amount of proton left the sun energy, and it shot right at that comet Atlas. So this is just going to get more and more intense because we're going more and more into this celestial alignment. So I think that's what's going on. I just feel really, I don't know, it was a long day. So I think I've just been doing too much, a little bit too much under a time crunch here, and try not to worry about it. But, you know, that's how our body works sometimes. In the back of your head, you can think you're not worried about something or thinking about it, but your mind is, it's just the way it works. So anyways, little, yeah, I did. It took me almost all the day to get it done. So I'm saying a little exhausted. I mean, I got it taken care of, but yes, I'm one step closer. If I get one more thing sold, I might be able to get this truck that I've been looking for. So I hope the Father can make this happen for me. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. I still have so much work to do, but I am definitely inching my way there. So thank you, Father. Yeah, that is. It's he's happy, and I went and took it to him and unloaded it, and then it took a little bit to get it together because I had to get all the. I lifted that blade up by myself, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways. He tried to move it with me, and he's like, "I can't move that thing. How'd you get it on the trailer?" I said, "Ah, well, whatever. Sometimes you got to do it." He couldn't even move it. I asked him just to move one side. Can you slide that side over? He's like, "I can't even move it. I can't lift it." So either way, hold on one second. Oh, is that some nonsense? Okay, some TikTok or something. So, anyways, I just thought I'd come here. No, I don't know, because I'm just feeling, I'm just sore, so I'm not in pain from even what I did today. I told you I'd stretch out before I went and lifted that. So I think I'm fine, whatever. It's just overworked. Just been working really hard, doing all that concrete work. So I wish I was 20. I wish I was 20. I wouldn't feel like this probably, but I don't even think it's that. I think it's just this extra energy that's coming from the sun. I just think it's, and then I've just been in so much prayer and so much thought with the Father about all this goings on of the, hold on a second here, all the goings on of this, this other hurricane. It's insane how fast that thing dropped to 15 millibars it dropped. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's like I want to look away. I just want to stop. I just want to not get, you know what I'm saying? I just don't even want to look anymore. It's getting so hard to witness. And I know it's going to get way worse than it is now. It's not going to, this is just the first wave again of intensity. Yeah, it's already a Cat 5. It was a Cat 5. It's been a Cat 5 for a while. Jesse pinned it as soon as it turned to a Cat 5. But like I said, I know it's the sun, is sun puts out energy. We're affected by it. And I don't talk about it all the time and not be affected by it. So I think that's what's going on with me today. I just feel, but it's okay. It's what, yeah, they talked about cats category 6. Cat 5's like what, 200 plus mile an hour sustained winds when it reaches that whatever knots, or but it's 200 some plus mile an hour. That's freaking cooking, man. The thing is massive. It's another massive. These things are just getting bigger and bigger. And we know, that's what I'm saying. By now, you should know that they're doing this and helping this. God's doing it. But, as far as I told you earlier on how this cycle works with the hurricane cycle to cool off this record heat in the Atlantic, this is where the overturning of that heat goes up into the, upper portion of the mid-Atlantic there, and it slumps down into the Atlantic and it recirculates. So we're not seeing that. I think that's the shift that we're starting to see, is this AMOC is not, it's not doing it. It's not slumping, and that's why we're having that record heat. Why else would it be stuck there in its 2 years in a row? So even hotter this year than last year. So none of this should be a surprise, but it is insane on how much moisture was dumped. Like 300 miles inland. It just doesn't make any sense to me, some of the stuff, but I know how. I mean, we can't deny that they're, I think that's whatever, they're juicing these things. And it's everybody's who's paying attention now sees it and go, this is not anything we've ever seen on radar before. So this is we've had similar, like that 1958, that same storm came, whatever that storm, Helene, it went through the same thing in 1958, went through a very similar pathway. It's so crazy how, again, I try to tell you guys that these things are cyclical and they do these things on cycles. They just keep repeating, nothing new under the sun. So it's kind of mind-numbing, again, where I just had to go back and I had to watch that hurricane spin, and it spins faster than I've ever think. It doesn't even look natural how fast it spins. Seriously, you watch a hurricane, it's, this thing goes, it's like, whoa, that is out of control, so. The sun just shot another couple of solar flares at that Comet Atlas, brothers and sisters. So more energy scrubbing off our atmosphere, the magnetosphere. So that's not good. Look at that plasma come off the sun. If you looked at, yeah, and that crazy. It's stupid how this is just. You guys, sometimes it doesn't even seem like this is a reality. How far this is being just bent, but it is what it is. We're going to have to figure out how to make it through this. But we'll do that by arming up with the Word of God, protecting ourselves with that, and being ready, because nobody knows. Yeah, we're on repeat. We're just programmed to redo the same thing. We just tentatively fall for human nature over and over again. Human nature, because Father creates all things. So it's going to be pretty awesome. There's new things that are coming, though. Or some things I already talked to you guys about that nobody's ever repeated. Well, I've already said it once, but that's okay. Nobody has to know. Sometimes I put things out and people don't quite hear me, and then that's okay. There's always replay. The lives normally stay up. I don't take down too many of the lives, so. Thank you, Father, for, bringing this through another day here. And please don't expect things to go in a great again type of fashion. I wanted to go to town early tomorrow. I need to go to town. I've got to go do things in town. I got to go get concrete. No, I haven't gone to town. Got to go to town to get dog food. So got to go to town and get I just don't want to spend any of this money that I have because I need to keep it for the truck. So it always works. And then I got land payments coming. It's always. So I have a Social Security appointment tomorrow. I don't even know how that's going to work. I mean, remember I fought them for 7 years. I have so much medical records of, physical things with my back and all my nerve. But they still deny me. This time I'm not even going after medical. I'm telling them that I'm nuts. I'm crazy. You don't think so? Go ask the state of Oregon, ask state police, ask anybody They'll say that dude is out of his mind. Just give me one. Yeah, I know, but I just need it. When you don't have income, like I don't have any income. Remember, I don't have any source of regular stream of none of the Social Security I've ever paid in. Never got any military pay from the military. Never got child support for the 8 years I took care of my son. Nothing, just for what I work, So it comes quick every month, It's like my son said, Dad, I can't believe you have all that. He just thought I was out here with just this one. He'd forgotten that I bought all this other land and was doing all these other things because we don't keep contact. It wasn't like that all. He's doing his thing and I was doing my thing. And he's like, wow, you have a lot more. You had thousands more dollars than I thought. Yeah, no, I'm insane out of my mind. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not like people. If they gave me a psychological evaluation, unless I cheated, like lied on a lie detector test to pass it, and lied and just appease the people who I was talking to. If I answered honestly, yeah, they're like, this dude's out of his mind. He thinks God's controlling all things. So, and nobody has free will, so all they have to do is go do their investigation, and they send out investigators. So they'll send out their investigators, and I know how Social Security works. I know how. So I have an appointment tomorrow, at least get the ball rolling again. And I don't think that'll happen overnight, but it is what it is, that's a process, but at least, it starts something. You get the ball rolling in some way, shape, or form or something. So either way, I think I'm about, like I said, right now, I mean, I'd buy the truck and just deal with it, whatever, if something came up. If I sold, let me go let these puppies out. I'm hearing a little bit of a whine going out of the boys. I'll peel this sweatshirt off just a little more than here. The boys are good boys. Okay, so again, if I could get something, one more thing off here, I'll have the fun. I'll just do it. I'll pull the plug and do it. Yeah, Tundra. Yeah, but that's just not going to go where that. I like the Tundra, and it's a good truck. I really like the Tundra, and I would go for diesel, but I don't think I could. I don't think I could afford, you know, that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the base price of that truck is, but I don't think, honestly, enormous, that truck will go where the Tacoma will go. It's just a little wider footprint, and it's still a great truck. Tundras are sweet. The T100s, even the first models, are people. It's a good base. And they make the 4-door, which I need. I know I see lots of Tundras for sale right now. I could get into a Tundra, but I just don't think it has the off-road stance that a Tacoma has, or a second gen. And I'm not gonna be able to get in the second gen. It's just too big of a cab to have that space custom cab that they make. It's a big fiberglass cab. It's really long. That's not very. The wheelbase is too long to go into the woods with. Looks neat, and does go off road, but you're going to have problems. I'm really trying to like blaze my own road with this vehicle, like literally like blaze my own road, like get off the road because the roads are closed, you know. Well, do you think they are or not? Do you think I've always known that the baddest truck ever made were first and second generation Toyotas, but I've had a couple tacos myself, and they're good trucks. They just crush right through, because the suspension. And so I'm not saying that Tundras aren't, but they're a little wider. You get a little wider footprint, and sometimes a narrower, little taller cookie cutter tire. See, I spent a lot of my life in the woods going. I mean, we could go climb right through logs and right through stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is the off-road truck. Is the truck for. I don't think you can make a better truck to go. I'm talking like through the woods. Those things will climb over logs, and I'm saying, and creep and stay. If you don't go crazy, a lot of they won't flip over, and they stay on, and they push right through snow and mud, and so I'm probably going to lift up whatever I have a little bit and put a little bigger tires on it, probably a real tall. I'm going to try to put a tall cookie cutter, real narrow tire. I don't care what people say. I know what cuts through the mud. I know it. You don't want that big, heavy, fat footprint. It's different, especially when you're trying to cut through narrow trees, and, the whole idea of having the truck is when the roads are closed, it's like, oh, bye, see ya. I'm making my own road now. I'm going to Utah from Oregon here off road the whole way. I'm not going to touch one road to get there. Yeah, that gets stuck real quick. I love Chevys. Don't get me wrong. I love Chevys. They're great trucks. I'm a Chevy guy. GMC. I love the GMC model of the industrial grade version, of the truck. And I've had more Chevys than anything else, but you're not going in the woods with a Chevy where a Toyota will go. You'll get stuck. It's too big. I don't care how much horsepower you got. It's too heavy, too big. Great truck, though. 2015, that's way too new for me. You guys with all your fancy new trucks. But I understand. They're nice. They're nice. They're nice, but too fancy, too new for me. I've never owned anything newer than a 2000 Chevy. I don't think anything newer than that I've ever owned in a pickup. Maybe a little. So, yeah, it's good. I like these older things. I like the older models way better than the new stuff's garbage to me. I don't care 75, 100,000. That's junk. I don't like it at all. It's too much. They're nice. They're nice trucks. Don't get me wrong. And when used, people don't understand what the hell is a $75,000, $100 truck. Well, you use that as a farmer. That's a utility tool. It's a tool. It's not a toy. It's not a truck. It's a tool, and you're using it as a capacity of like a tool. They're nice. I understand, but that's too much. That's just, that's why that guy bought that tractor from me today. He's like, I'm so stoked. Nobody will ever get rid of these 860s. And the reason why is because they're too easy. You can just pull them out of the bushes and they'll fire up if you know what if you do what you're supposed to do to them. So, Yeah, that's what I think my son, he would put the 2JZ in it. And look, this is what I'm going to seriously consider. And I don't care for what, what people think. I'm going to do what I want, eventually with this truck is I'm going to swap because they do the 4JZ, right? Or whatever with this taco line with these newer trucks. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what it's called again. It's the 4JZ or the 4.0, and those things got a lot of pep. I say I'm not familiar. I'm a 22R guy. I'm a 22RE inline. That's why I won't sell this motorhome back here because it's got 96,000 original miles on that motor, and I know that motor will go for 1 million miles. 1 million miles, and it's always just been well, it's inline. So eventually, well, no matter which truck I get, if I found like a paycheck or a payday or something that I could get through and sold something because I have other assets, I would swap it out with the 4BT Cummins. You spoke about diesels either. I would swap it out with a 4BT and put a 4BT in it and call it good. Okay, she's done. She's done. Put the 4BT in it and be done, and then that would be forever. I'd never sell that truck. But for after when things break down, it'd be a whole lot smarter to have that 22R or 22RE in it than any other motor because you're going to find more of those. So, yeah, that's what I'm down to diesel out here. All my vehicles are diesel now, except for that Ford that I just bought. I only bought it to help somebody out. I had some money and he needed the money bad. There's a guy, it wasn't a bad truck. Sucks it caught on fire and I got the part for it. So I'll see if I get it fixed because I only drove it a few times and I know it's a good truck, but he just needed the money. He's like, look, man, my son's on meth. He's in, I don't want to disclose who he is. He's like, I don't know how he got into this. He's just been in the city and I got to get him out of there, man. It's going to cost me money. I got to go there and rent a hotel for a week. And I don't want to sell this truck. I hadn't had it that long. You've seen it. Like, yeah, it's a nice truck. It's an old man truck. Like, you buy an old man truck to take care of it, and I had the money, and like I said, he's one of the few guys out here. I've known him for a lot of years, but not like, we didn't hang out a lot. We just knew each other in passing. We used to scrap and fight each other at the lake because he was in the town to the south, and we'd meet out by the woods by the lake and beat the snot out of each other, knock each other down, and not try to beat the brakes off each other. And then they get the title, and then we'd all go jump and swim in the lake together and hang out. And just at the end, everybody'd squash it because we weren't trying to, curb stomp anybody or beat. You were just get them down on the ground. When somebody went down, they were out. So that's how I met him, was going and scrapping at the lake. We used to do that when I was young. We used to meet up and beat the brakes. No, we wouldn't do that. We'd just beat each other up pretty good and dot each other's eyes or whatever. But, there'd be some blood, some split. But nobody was ever pissed off. It never went there. It never went there, man. It was so cool to do it. We didn't do it every, sometimes you do it a couple times a year. There go a year we'd skip doing it, but that's how I met him, through, just like I said, it was just, nobody was violent. Nobody was violent. It was that kind of thing where it just went on through the years. It's just something we did. And that's how I met him. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of have like a connection with the guy, when you roll around and somebody beat you up and you beat him up and you're not mad at each other, because it's just part of just being a guy. And that's just what we did when we were, guys, this is still the 90s. You could still do things like that. And nobody was trying to hurt anybody. It was all about taking the title. It was like the last man standing, so to speak, like a Royal Rumble or something like that. So once you were down, you're down, and nobody got mad. And then, like I said, you would stay down on the ground, sit there, or you can get back up and go walk, and just wait until everybody was done. And then after we're done, we'd all hang out, kind of a north and south kind of thing. And, it was a lot of fun, and that's how I'd met him. And so when he wanted to sell this truck and he said, man, my son's struggling, I'm like, dude, I got some money right now. I don't like Fords. I don't like Fords at all, but it's a nice old man truck. I'll buy it from you. So that's how I ended up with that truck. You know what I'm saying? But it's not my cup of tea either. So hopefully I can get that thing fixed. Yeah, back in the day, people forget, because I'm not about violence. I'm not, but you forget. A lot of people forget. I grew up, whatever. I grew up fighting. That's all we did was fight. But people used to like, why is your son? Why do you let him fight with his friends like that? I'm like, they're just being boys, you know. Well, they're gonna knock stuff. They're not gonna break anything. If they break it, they know they're smart enough. They'll know how to fix it. They all know how to do construction. They're not. They're being boys. Damn, they're beating the hell out of each other in there. No, they're not. They're just wrestling with each other. You know, they're just throwing each other around. And yeah, there might be some physical. Like, man, you know, but that's the way I grew up, you know, and they did it for fun. They would need my son has a couple of his friends, 2, 3, and they'd be beating the brakes off each other. You know, not like just and go for hours and hours. You know what I'm saying? But none of them, they're all friends. It was not, nobody ever got butt hurt, is what we called it. You know, nobody can, it just was, you know, so it used to be a thing. If you remember, you maybe had somebody you had a beef with, right? A beef with, and you didn't like them or something. And then, you know, maybe for a part of like this school year, you were mortal enemies. And then you met out in the playground or out on the football field, and you had it out and you got it settled and you shook hands and you were best friends the rest of the year. Somebody that was your enemy for the first part of the year, you ended up, you know, being best friends since then. I had, you know, friends that I don't keep in touch with that I've known that way. That's people that, like I said, we rolled around together, and you know, and it kind of gives you an attachment to things. And especially when you're not trying to, it's done different when you're not trying to defend yourself because you think somebody's going to kill you and hurt you. And that's not what it was about. When you could actually know that somebody was, the way I consider it, it's kind of like UFC. It's a sport. You know, we did it. Boys will be boys. Back in the day, boys did it. You know, girls got scraps too. I'm not saying girl, but it's just part of growing up. You know, I never looked at it like that because this wasn't something like you were trying to be violent. You know what I'm saying? There was no violence. It was always, you know, it was like a title. He's a weirdo. Sean Strickland is a goofball, but I don't know why I like him. I love him and I hate him at the same time. If that's think, and I think he's great, and I think he's an actor, and I think a lot of these, not like WWE, but they put on a little bit of a front for Dana, and that's good. I like it. I like their little skit that they do. It's not overly done, and I think all of it's pretty genuine on, you know what I'm saying? And they're not trying to be somebody they want, you know, or not. They're not. It's not a huge act like some, but they got their little, you know, and Sean is just like the love to hate kind of guy. He's quite see what I'm saying? He's the love hate kind of guy. If I had to explain Sean Strickland, I have to say, yeah, I love the guy, but some things I just don't really like. But some, yeah, you know, but he's definitely, he honestly, he fights very similar to me. He fights straight up. He's right in your face. He puts his hands up and he punches real straight. Everything's straightforward. I don't throw anything looping. Never throw it. Only time I throw a looping punch is when I see your eyes roll back like a pinball, you know, like a, you know, slot machine. Then I'll go ahead and pull back. But everything Sean throws is pretty forward. He don't throw a lot of, you know, a lot of pullback and a lot of haymakers. And he's a very straightforward in your, you know what I'm saying? He just pushes forward, just straightforward. He's a very forward, in your face. He don't have a lot of dance. He don't have a lot. He's not flat-footed, but he almost is. You know, he keeps really centered down. He hunkers down a little bit. You know, I get down real low. I always try to be the smallest target. I just watch the feet because I know the hands. I already always watch the hands, but I try to make become the smallest target that I can possibly be. Next thing you know, I'll crawl right up your back and I'll poke you in your eye and then fish hook you and rip the side of your lip open and not even punch you once and choke you out. And you wake up in a pool of blood, you know, unconscious, and it didn't even hit you one time, you know. But you know, and there's a lot of talent. Like I said, I really like a lot what Dana's done with the sport. I like the Diaz brothers because that's another similar way to I have grew up. Just Nate and Nick are just straight up street fighters, and they come on, let's do this, pow, 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 and they'll take a whopping and just keep coming at you, kind of like a Strickland. So I like the Diaz brothers. I guess that's just because of how Stockton. I mean, I born and raised in Los Angeles, California, so I understand that rolling around on the concrete. You know, that's just how we did it, and that's how their life was. You think they asked for it? No, grow up living in Stockton, California. That's way north. That's a lot easier than than where I grew up. And I'm not saying Stockton's, light, but come on down south here and try out some of these MS-13 and some of the people that from the beginning, PCB, Pacoima Crazy Boys, all these, yeah. But anyways, they're street fighters. And that they've not just rolled around on the mat, they've rolled around on the concrete. They're concrete fighters. That's what I call it. I'm a concrete fighter. I grew up fighting on concrete. We very seldom, a lot of the times, we didn't always meet out in the middle of the football field. We used to meet behind Jack in the Box. And they turn off the camera for 1/2 an hour, and nobody got in trouble. Like we said, it was controlled. Nobody jumped in, and, so as we called it, it's just growing up fighting on concrete. So, you grow up in the concrete jungle, there's not a whole lot of places that you're not going to roll around on the concrete. So you got to be used to it. You get lots of scuffs and the elbows and all that show from whatever. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, brothers and sisters. And none of that's what I really like about the sport of UFC. It's professional fighting, and I like how Dana does that. They shake hands, you know what I'm saying? And they go there, they take and squash that. A lot of the times Dana squashes it. And I think it shows that people can make it and not be like God doesn't want us to strike back like that. That's not what they're doing there. These people aren't mad and violent. There's no violence going on in the UFC. I mean, there's not. And try, you ever gotten a fight, when you're done, you're pumped up as all get out. That's why they're done and jump up on the ring and, do their thing. So I think it's, thanks for coming in, Norm. It's good to see you again. Making my way here, hopefully get this property donated to the ministry soon. Father's making moves. I got to put the legs on it, but absolutely. I think he's getting away with. He went to the party, but remember he moved Diddy's hand off his lap and told him, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't put your hands on me." But he was there at the party, so that's all I can say about Mike at this point. But I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what kind of virgin, though, Brett? It's a different kind of virgin. We're talking about biblical, those that don't cheat on the father. So, wise and foolish. I think all of us have defiled ourselves with this world. And that's why he says, come out over my people. So, but anyways, I grew up watching Mike Tyson, just watching him just clobber people, Iron Mike, I think he's going to prove that somebody like me will whoop your butt. I don't care if I'm 50, my son is really strong. He's a super strong young man. He got a lot of tensile strength. I grew him up, but when he was out here, he's a little frustrated and stuff, and we got in a little go around. He's a strong young man. He's not. I mean, he don't. he grew up wrestling, so he's really super strong, and he understands. He's a wrestler. He grew up on the ground wrestling too, so he knows his way around for the above and on the ground. But he's a little stressed out when we had all that stuff going on with the state, and him and I got a little bit, is over. He wanted it to be not about us, and wanted it to be about the bigger cause. and he kind of stepped to me, and I told him, don't do that right now, son. This is not the time, and he did. And I just grabbed a hold of him and squeezed him like a freaking cobra. And I took him down to the ground, and I told him, I said, don't mess with me, young man. I said, I work every day. Every day I work. I pick up thousands, tons and tons. There's no way that I don't care how old. You got to remember, I'm holding him, squeezing. Like, all right, let go of me, and I said, I want to tell you, like my dad told me, you're going to whoop my ass when you're older than me, son. All right? So everything's all right. Calm down or whatever. I didn't realize I laid him down, and we have stripes out here on the deck. Whatever. Just took him down on the ground. He got up and he had literal lines. I'm like, oh, no, it's not good. He got the lines in his forehead. But, it just, it was a good, I just wanted him to know that dad's still strong. And even though dad got older, dad never get no weaker. I am just as strong as I was when I was 20 years old. I in ways, I think there seem some things I have some stronger physical strength, and I was ripped at 20 years old. I would, come out of the military and freaking law enforcement. I was even, like I said, I was, but I feel like I have gained, like age. You're supposed to get better with time, but what I don't have is I still have stamina, obviously, but the mentality up here can't tell the body to shut up. The brain up here is smarter. It says, sit down, old man, and take a break. So you don't overdo yourself. Yeah, you can work hard and work harder than most people half or in their 20s, but you do need to sit down and take a break, whether you like it or not. And the brain used to be able to tell the brain, shut up, the body. I control the body. You don't tell me what to do. You understand? I'm controlling this body, and I'll do whatever I tell this body. My dad taught me that at a young age. There's nothing you can't do. It's all in your head, yeah, I grew up around a lot of that violence and stuff. But so I've had violence, and then I've had, where it's not violent, and then I'm not into. Remember, I told you now I'm not doing any of that. I don't believe with fighting anybody. I don't want to fight nobody for nothing. I don't even do it for fun anymore. I'm just too old. I've had people in the last, whatever, I remember in 30, some people stepped to me, and, and there's a couple of things where a couple of people, and just most of the time I just wrap people up like a freaking package, just wrap them up and poke at them a little bit, put on one of their pressure points and get them to, and little bit. And if I have to, like I said, pull on some skin or something, I'll tug on you. I'll bite you if I have to. I grew up where there's no rules. The basic of what I grew up is the rules is there is no rules. I mean, if you're truly going to be, not in the other sense, remember, that's just, we didn't do it that way. It's part of it. There's no rules. Who made up rules? So careful. I'll bite you. I'll grab you, hold you. I'll pull your hair. I'll do whatever. I'll grab you by squeeze your scrotum if I have to get you to get off of me. If you get whatever it takes, but anyways, I don't really, none of that now. I just want to get away from that because I don't want to do any of that anymore. I'm getting too old, guys, for any of that stuff. And like I said, I just kind of the other, it wasn't that long ago. My son was here, and, and I got to, for myself, show him too, not like that dad's still strong, because I remember my dad telling me that when I was younger. He said, son, you can kick my butt when you're older than me. That's when you'll be able to beat me up. Okay. When you're older than me, that's when it'll happen. So I was like, Dad, but I'm never going to be older than you. And he said, exactly, son. Get out of my face. So, anyways, I miss my boy. He's a good young man. And he's had a hard knocks life. And I hope he's clinging to the word of God. I know the last time I saw him or talked to him, I gave him the word of God. That's the last thing I ever spoke to my son was the word of God. And I don't know if I'll ever see him again. And so I'm glad at least the last words that we had to speak to each other were not. Well, so that was a long couple, was that 217 days we live streamed out here, trying to get the state's attention, trying to get the county's attention. And I still have, I never came back and really thanked everybody for all the support they showed before they came out here and decided just to not listen and throw this into the courts. But a lot of people made a lot of phone calls to both these counties, and I believe there were calls made outside the county as well. We had a lot of people making, I believe, a good, fair effort at trying to, couldn't change God's will. This is exactly what God wanted, for me and my son and his wife and all the situation. So I am thankful that I'm still here, although my vision is wrecked and my hearing is not the same. I'm still just a man, and I don't feel like I'm any different. I'm any less of a person. I just have some issues now with vision, and that's okay. I think I could probably, if I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen when I come to take my CDL test for my driver's test. I'm going to have to figure out what that's all entails. And I can still drive. It's fine. I mean, my brother was blind in one eye, and he could, not blind, but he couldn't make out any kind of, anything in that eye, just blurry. I'll never forget radio silence for all those who 100 hours a minute you're live streaming your safety. They blow their phone up trying to lock it down. Yeah, I remember they were calling my phone. They were calling my phone trying to get me off that live stream. When they don't call me for years, I try to get a hold of them, and then they come and SWAT and raid my house, and then they don't, and then they call at the last. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Actually, it's pretty funny. I've never watched it again. I've only watched it just that one time. I told you I watched 5 minutes after I got out of jail, and then I went and watched the rest of it. And I'm glad I did, because I figured out what was going on with my eye, what was going on with my vision. But you hear me screaming my phone number to the cops out there, 541, or yelling my phone number, and they already had my number. They know my number. That it's not. I get calls from the cops, a private number. I'm like, hey, how's it going, guys? Oh, this is officer. Yeah, I know. You're the only idiots they call from a private number. So it is what it is. I'm not concerned. But I hope my son's hanging on, and I hope I hope his wife is clinging to the word, and I hope that they'll get some resolve here soon, because we do have, all of us we're put under this same timeline of how long they have to respond and take it to trial. So they're running out of time, as I was ripping that judge's, last time, and district attorney and all the attorneys, and it's kind of funny, like I said, how the father, kept me from seeing anything that was going to happen that day, because I was just blinded. The date before, when they had me down there, I knew exactly what was going to happen. This time I was just not seeing anything. So I'm happy that the Father gave me the strength that day to don't worry about what to say. I'll tell you when you get there. And I'm glad that he did, because he kept me reserved enough to keep me on my puppies, keep me out of jail. Last time I was there, you want to go back to jail? Get out of my face, you tyrant. I don't contract with tyrants. So, again, thanks for the conversation. Just trying to be a little more relaxed in here. And what a crazy time for the Father to take my son, away from me and my daughter in one of the most trying times in life. And he's got to rip everything that we were trying to do. We're all just trying to come out here and everybody alone and just get them a house built so they can move on with their life and just be a husband and wife. And that's not at all what happened. So, but it's okay. I 100% believe that everything happened is all by the Father after his own counsel for his own pleasure, and he will sure that everything's happening the way he wants it. And I don't want to get in the way of any of that. And I'm glad that my son was smart enough that day to listen to me and listen to God's words and not my words. As I said, my last words were God's words to him, which made him not leave out of this other, where he was sleeping and come out and start yelling and screaming like Dad normally Dad does. Dad yells and screams at the cops. Whatever, I do whatever I want. They're cop suckers. I told you, I like none of them. They're all but tyrants. I know I used to be one. So stand down. Stand down. I tell them that a lot. They don't like to be told stand down. So either way, I pray for the Father's will in this, and that he'll work this situation out to where it won't just get settled and get swept under the rug. That this will have an effect on other people that get caught into the system, like my son. Other people make a mistake. We can all make a bad decision one day and erase everything we did that was good because we, in the moment, don't make the right decision. We got to the rest of our life suffer. No, that's what getting in trouble is about. You get in a fight with somebody at the bar and you probably should have kept your hands and mouth shut, but did. Now you beat each other up. Well, guess what? You're both going to get some anger management. You're probably going to get put on probation, and you're going to have to do some things. So they should probably keep track of what you do. Instead of writing all this stuff down with this Neanderthal probation and all this Stone Age, analog, write it down, enter it in the computer later. There's no accountability, not for the people who are the parolees or probationaries, because I know that whatever, they made a mistake and they need accountable, not tracked like a dog, but these probation officers, and parole officers need accountability because they're the criminals. And just like the cops that put these people in front of all these probation and parole officers with their straw man, Wizard of Oz law nonsense. But it's okay. They're going to have a tough time again. I looked at their right of discovery, and it's hilarious. Anonymous tip from YouTube. That's the stupidest thing they ever could have put in their report. The word, and they had to. YouTube. Yeah. So that means all the hours that we live streamed are all now evidence. Gee, it's like Tracy knew what he was doing the whole time, huh? He jumped and made all those hours evidence. So now if it went in front of a jury trial, they'd have to look at all the hundreds of hours, paint me out to be some bad guy. If I'm backed in a corner, I'll strike. Well, you're damn right I will. I mean, I'll try everything I can not to, but if you back me into a corner, I probably am going to rip your face off like a raccoon would, because now you've pushed me to no other choice, and I feel threatened by my life. I have the right to defend myself. Under this testament, I do. So you're darn right. I can defend myself. So they're screwed. They're so screwed. An anonymous tip. Well, how about all the other calls that were made? Lady in red will tell you how many calls you think were made to Lake County Sheriff's Office, Lane County Sheriff's Office, the state of Oregon. I don't know if anybody outside called the feds. I told everybody called the feds. I called the feds. But how many calls do you think they're going to bring up someone anonymous caller? Yeah, I know, huh? And this is what their evidence is going to be. And how many hours did I stream going, hey, I don't want no violence. Yeah, I got arms in here. You're darn right I do. I got my Second Amendment, but I'm not going to chase anybody. I'm not coming out with it. Even the day of the live stream, was I violent in any way, shape, or form? No. They're the ones who were violent. They shot me in less than 1 minute after being here. They shot me in the face. And it wasn't a shot. Remember, it was a concussion grenade. So that person, that was actually thrown by hand and not by somebody shooting me, because they did shoot rounds. You know, you can hear them shooting the rounds into the house, the tear gas canisters in the house, and shooting up all my windows, you know, which I still taped up and windows replaced. I told you I wasn't going to get them fixed this winter, and I was going to have a little bit of a struggle, but whatever. It's been kind of, the winter hasn't been too awful bad out here yet, but we're just getting into winter, so we'll see. We got lots of winter days. Hey, can I have that, kiddo? So, and pushing close to another court date here soon, so don't know exactly what's going to go on, but I have legal counsel. Yeah, I got wood I traded that little pickup truck in the back that I had back there, it was a true JDM Nissan, a 720 Nissan from Japan. The guy is so stoked. He went and drove he's from Salem. Some of the wood wasn't as good as I thought, but Jimmy crack corn, whatever. It's you know what, I'll throw more in there and burn it. But maybe half a quart of it was a little light or whatever, because it was older tree that was down. It was definitely seasoned, but not like punky or anything like that, but didn't have that weight. I thought it was oak, you know, and oak has a lot of weight, you know, to it. And so didn't get as much oak as I thought, and that's okay too. But I did probably get, you know, 2 full cords of firewood. Whatever. I don't want to strike anybody. Remember, I'm going to move to the woods, and I'm leaving all you guys behind. So you're all idiots as far as I'm concerned. If you don't listen to me, that's on you, not me. Love you, but remember? Idiots not. I didn't just insult you. I said you're just simple, skilled. You're not understanding. You need to get to the woods and start living like a caveman, so that when things break down, you're like, well, just another day out here as a woodsman, a woodswoman. You know, imagine if you had yourself a good man in the woods to protect you from lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, right? You could be a team. Heck yeah, that'd be sweet. But nah, I think I'm just going to be one of those men that disappear to the woods by myself and just randomly appear back. Oh, Tracy's live streaming again. Yeah, hey guys. Oh, well, look, his beard's even longer now. Well, whatever. You know, be like a mountain man, live in the mountains. What did you have for dinner? Remember, chicken and possum casserole. Remember, I'm going to bring my long-term food storage in there with me. I am. I'm doing it. I feel like that's so freaking amazing. I never thought, all those years I bought food, I never thought it was for me. I mean, I know I'd be eating some of the food, but it wasn't, you know, it was to go to a bigger cause. Now I'm like, oh, I can take a chunk of that with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Like, I bought new stuff. I didn't even remember I bought any of that stuff, because I buy things and just put them away. A chipmunk's got a brain the size of a pea. Nobody knows to put up nuts. So who's nuts here, huh? Like a squirrel, I'm always trying to get a nut. So I've got food stores everywhere you look. Well, you can't see it because I don't ever show you all the food. There's food right there. There's food right there. There's food right there. There's food right There's food everywhere in here. And this isn't even the food storage. This is just the overflow. So whatever. You do you and I'll do me. I'm like a chipmunk. I'm always trying to get a nut. So either way, I'll have some things, and that's kind of very edifying, brothers and sisters, because when I didn't even think about it that way, and I went, wow, you know, I now have the ability to have my food taken care of, and now I can supplement with this food, you know. So we'll have the conversation again, because it's a good conversation. So, like, for example, see this bucket? I have buckets of this. I have many buckets, okay? And in this bucket, we have homestyle turkey dinner. And I had this homestyle turkey dinner for the first time today, and this was fabulous. It was truly, it's 2 servings. So it's 60 grams of protein, or 30 grams of protein, excuse me. It is 2 servings. I ate both of them and I was stuffed. It really did. If you watch the live stream, it was excellent. Every bite had turkey in it. It was fabulous. Fabulous. So, this is Mountain House. This is the company that's out of Albany. This isn't the company. Nate talks about this, right? You know, I don't. But you guys remember, I used to do all my own freeze drying. Teriyaki tri-tip. Oh, teriyaki tri-tip. Teriyaki tri-tip. So, this is made by Tracy. There's like 30 pounds of tri-tip in this bag, and it probably weighs just a couple pounds now because it's all freeze-dried. So, I was buying these at the same time that I had freeze dryers because this is a good price. No, it's not. It's expensive. No, it's not. Do you know how much it costs for a freeze dryer? You know, it takes 2 to 3 days to make, probably 3 days to make this chicken and mashed potatoes and our home style turkey because it's got vegetables. So, saber tooth, yeah. Jason and Eggcorn, yep. Just make sure you don't got none of them saber tooth. Never mind. 30 grams of protein divided by 2 meals. So let's say Tracy is like a possum, you know, or raccoon. If you back him in a corner, he'll strike like a raccoon. Let's say that again, we're playing the scenario. Lion's out there hunting with me. Lion comes in and brings back a possum. I say, well, Lion, if you'll split that possum with me, remember we got this bag. We can have possum and turkey home style stuffing. So possum and this bag is going to probably give us enough protein to make it through the whole day. Now, if we can collect some more things or whatever, have side dishes or whatever, and that supplement, that's what these is what I plan on doing with these as well. I mean, if I get something, you know, that's fine. Like, oh, well, I didn't get anything today as far as anything in the animal traps. I didn't catch anything, but I remember we had that bag of tri-trip. Remember? And like I said, we'll go with the recipe that I heard. I found a whole thing of blackberries and some chanterelle mushrooms. So we're going to have a chanterelle blackberry tri-tip. Are we game? Anybody want some blackberry chanterelle tri-tip? You know what I'm saying? This is probably enough to live for a week or 2 weeks. If this was divided out, there's a lot of protein in this bag. It can be divided into, so we can make and then we can make a blackberry chutney, and then we'll make some blackberry cobbler. We'll make a cobbler. We'll have blackberry and chanterelle tri-tip with blackberry cobbler. Sound good? You know, all right, moving on here. Oh, look, we got Mexican style rice, and this has cauliflower, zucchini, chilies, and lime with pinto beans, onions with chicken. So now look, maybe we got 2 squirrels. We trapped 2 squirrels, chickmunks, something if you will, right? Whatever. So tonight we're gonna have Mexican style chipmunk chicken and rice, and I'm sure we can find something off the floor somewhere to put some berry or something, salmon berries or something more mild, and maybe we have few of those chanterelles left or something we throw in there with that. So everybody down for some chicken chipmunk Mexican style rice with onions, cauliflower, zucchini, lime, and pinto beans? The chicken chipmunk casserole. Oh no, this is what I'm saying, or whatever. Okay, so moving on, we'll get to the next one. What do we got here? Oh, more home style turkey dinner. Oh, hey, well, look, we're going to cross over here with this home style turkey dinner. we're going to, we caught some trout, some cutthroat trout, couple big cutthroat trout, really nice trout. So we'll cook those trout over the barbecue, you know, wood fire the trout. We got garlic. We've got some seasoning we'll put on those. We'll go ahead and peel that back. We'll take all that meat and we'll have home-style turkey trout. Turkey trout, pieces of trout. And this had a lot of turkey in it, guys. A lot of turkey with every bite. With garlic turkey, with garlic trout, with turkey dinner. Garlic turkey trout with stuffing. And this has the vegetables in it. And some of these vegetables in here, guys, were fabulous. I don't know what those little, if they were like little green, like beans or something in there, but they had a lot of really good flavor, whatever that green you've seen in the view. So we're having turkey trout dinner tonight. So turkey and trout. And I bet you that fish would just go, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't if you cooked it, because trout's pretty mild, you know, freshwater's pretty mild, not a heavy fishy flavor. This would probably just meat this thing out. You'd be so, whoa, man, this goes so meaty, you know, it'd be super meaty. All right, so what do we got here? Chicken fajita bowl, okay? This one's got, it's got white rice, black beans, corn, fire roasted peppers, and onions. So what do you got to add to this? What do you add to this? Obviously, I'm a cook. I can make up recipes, you know, whatever. I'm a cook. I've been five-star restaurant. So what are you adding? What'd you get to add to the chicken fajita bowl? Rabbit. Oh man, well that would just taste, that wouldn't even be any different. See, you wouldn't be able to tell the chicken from the rabbit, guys. In here, I guarantee you, this is really good quality chicken in here. I know their chicken is good. It peels apart. It's good chicken. In turkey dinner, wouldn't it be more like, yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what I said. It was like a green bean, but they're real small, you know, and man, they were super good. Going on an island. Huh. Is he an island boy? I hope he didn't go to the EpiPen island, boy. Didn't go on that plane. So what else could you add to that, guys? What else do you think in the woods you could add to that? What could you find in the woods to add to that dish? Rabbit would work. You wouldn't even know. This would not change anything in this dish. I guarantee I'm a cook. You could add the rabbit and you would have no idea. I could cut it to the same texture as this, the same size, and it would just add. Snake would be almost the same way. Snake, very similar. You wouldn't even notice it was in there. Seriously, it'd just be more meaty. It'd just be more pieces of meat, so to speak. But see, there's a lot of different ways to go with this, guys. You know what I'm saying? To pad. So, okay, now chicken teriyaki. This one has, you guys, I've never had any of these either. These are ones I've never had. White rice with green peas, carrots, peppers and onions. So, white rice, peas, carrots, peppers, and onions with chicken teriyaki. Hey, I got ladies are very good at gathering things and hunting too. Ladies can hunt like mad fire. Oh, heck yes, they can. Ladies are very skilled hunters. They're not just gatherers. Ladies can hunt. Yes, they can. So what do we got? What do you got to add to the chicken teriyaki? We've got peas, carrots, peppers, onions. Oh, some nuts. Add some texture. I like that. Would be good to add some whatever. I'd cook them, sprinkle them over the top, like on that would be a good little crunch in there with the. Okay, they found collected some acorns, some whatever they can find. Yeah, I love right off the vine snap peas. Here's right off the vine. Oh, those are so yummy. So you could even do something like that. Very creative. I like that. Hey, we didn't get anything on the line. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get anything on the line. 25 years. 25 years, guys. 25 years. This will last Hold on, I gotta let this dog out. Come on, Mr. Pants. Go outside. Go potty. I don't know what that dog got into. He ate something. I don't know. He must have found something out here in the bushes or something. But he's had a couple accidents in here. And I just, yeah, he just was like, oh, I better let him go. I thought I smelled like, I think he just had himself a little dog. But, yeah, mushrooms. That's what we said. Chanterelles, you know, all that stuff could be added to any of these dishes. You could make this tri-tip 50 different ways, brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, by adding whatever you could add off the forest floor, the ground, or wherever you're at. There's a lot of different, you know. So this is what I plan on doing. You know what I'm saying? I plan on having all this for this community later. And you know, I wasn't able to build it, and that's fine. I'm okay. Moving on. I'm a veteran. It's called adapt and overcome. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look at these meals, guys. These are all good meals, and every one of these, I guarantee, is really decent quality. I wouldn't put this brand on here. I wouldn't buy it for myself if it wasn't. So I've talked about staying away from some of these companies like My Patriot Supply, where it's just a bunch of filler. You've seen on the live stream, I opened up that chicken stuffing and it was pieces. Even the last bites had big chunks of bread and turkey, and it wasn't all mixed up. Yeah, I know. And imagine what my diet would be. Did you hear any sugar in that? Did you hear me say, hey, let's make some pasta with that? No, I would probably just supplement a lot of it with rice and beans. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be like this, brothers, sisters. You can take rice and beans and put them in a Mylar bag like this and get them to last 25 years. Up to 25 years. You need a good 7 mil Mylar bag. Do not skimp on the bag. Don't buy anything that has a see-through window. Yep, light or air can make food go bad, or moisture. So this has an oxygen absorber in it. You can put an oxygen absorber in this bag and put your beans in there or rice in there. That's going to last 20 years in this bag. 20 years. I ate food from 2019. It was like this one. This is February. The other one was January. Look, February of 2019. February of 2019. And it tasted just as good as when I put it in there. It was fabulous. I made tri-tip tacos. I made tostadas. I did burritos. Made a couple burritos off that bag. You know, last me a few days. I made the tri-tip last a few days out of. Now that bag was half the size as much as this bag had in it. This bag is a bigger bag, but again, I did this in 2019, and that food was just as good as when I put it in there. It didn't taste any different. And 20 years from now, it's not. It's locked in. It's sealed in. So if you don't have something like that, you can still go buy Mylar bags, buy rice and beans, pinto beans. I buy a different variety. Buy a bunch of different kinds of beans. And this will get you by. You fill up 3 or 4 of these, you can put that in your apartment, and you're a lot better off than most, brothers, sisters, than most. You won't struggle like most. Get yourself one of these Life straws. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself a Sawyer Mini. Throw it in there with it. Put it away in the closet. You'll be glad that you did. It's something you can grab, throw, take in your car, get your go bag, and get the flock out of Dodge, right? So these are not bad priced. You can't make this. You've got to go to the store. You've got to buy stuffing. You got to buy white meat. You got to buy the vegetables. You got to come home. You got to get the car. You got to go there. You got to purchase all this product that's in this bag. You got to buy this 7 mil bag, Mylar bag. You got to buy the oxygen absorber. A freeze dryer doesn't take 30 minutes. It takes 3 days. 3 days. Continue. You got to pay for all the power. You got to prep all this food. So you're going to have to wash all the dishes from prepping all the food. So, yes, you are. You're going to have to wash the dish too. Soap, cost, fuel, bag, oxygen absorber. Okay, now you got to take and put that a freeze dryer on for 3 days. Run that vacuum pump, runs continuously. It keeps the seal in there. That's what's constantly pulling that food off of the moisture, sticking to the outer rim of the drum that's 20 below zero. And that's how the process, the trays heat. 3 days that runs. The power that it costs. It's not overly expensive, but it is power to run that. And then you got to take it out. You got to take the time. Now you got to take it out of the bag. You got to put it in the bag, which is not as easy as you think. And now you got to clean up all the trays. Now it's just dried now, so it's not as it was in the beginning, but you got to clean up all those trays. You got to clean up the freeze dryer, clean out the inside of your freeze dryer, put them in your bag. How is that for $10, $9? Not a good deal. That's 2 servings of food. That is good quality food in here. It's got some things in there that's not, there's better than this. Nate has better quality than this, but this is a good medium range, something I had, and I think their meals are fabulous. I still can remember the taste of that turkey dinner. It's really good. It tastes like grandma made it. Just super. Every bite was excellent. Everybody had turkey in it. So this stuff for 2 servings is 30 grams of protein for $10. $10? Get out of here. You couldn't prepare it for that now. I don't see how you could even make this bag for $10. Does anybody disagree with me? How much are Mylar bags? How much are oxygen absorbers? A freeze dryer is $3,000 for a freeze dryer, and that's a steal. You should get a freeze dryer if you could. So that's what most of these fillers are. It's just a lot of these are. This is not my Patriot Supply. This actually, you saw what this has in it. This is a much better company. There are some other ones like Wise and all these other ones. Be careful. Be very careful with these long-term food storage buckets, brothers and sisters. They're not. There are a lot of filler things you can go buy yourself. You can make macaroni and cheese, pasta, and bag it. Do the same thing. You do the same thing. You don't need none of that. You need either meals ready to eat like this that are really good, or you need to stack protein. So how much do you think it would cost you to make this bag right here, to produce this bag in your own home? Now, bought the freeze dryer, you got it. You got to count the energy. You already got the cost of the freeze dryer, so that's got to have to pay for itself, and they do. They don't take long to pay for themselves. You get a long-term food storage bucket that's a real bucket of meat. It's $300 for one of those buckets, guys. This ain't no $30 or $40 bucket of protein. I mean, meat. Eggs, protein. Whatever. It's worth it if you ask me. $300 worth of meat ain't that much, and you get a lot of. There's $30. There's almost $300 worth of meat right there in that bag. That's 30 plus pounds. There was 30 plus pounds of tri-tip that I've freeze dried down and cut into pieces. Probably, I remember how much it was, a lot of tri-tip, and put in this bag. Mountain House is good. They're good. I like Mountain House. I didn't know of anything else. This is all when I was doing this, guys, back in 2019. They didn't really have much other. They had My Patriot Supplies, but they didn't have good quality. Now there's multiple companies. Nate at the Canadian Prepper represents, I think, one of the best. And I like what their freeze-dried companies say. We want you to buy our freeze-dried meats. We don't have that DNA jabbed, meat. Buy our freeze-dried meats and eat them now. We want you to eat them now. Not just stick it. These people want you to buy this crap, brothers and sisters, hoping you put it in your closet, like I said, and never take it out and never eat it. I know a lot of people probably never will. So they're just getting over on you. This company won't do that. I've seen they don't have this TBD meat, this other, it's not even real meat in some of these companies like Thrive and some of these other companies that have, it's not meat. It's called TVP, some other kind of protein or whatever. It's whatever. I think it's plant-based, but how much do you think this would cost to produce this bag right here? How much do you think it would cost this turkey dinner? You got to buy turkey. You got to buy the vegetables. It's got peas in it. I'm sure it's got, I don't know what, I can't read the back of this right now. See, there's the 2 servings. 240, 470. So it's 2 servings. 2 servings. Oh man, I just got a bunch of messages. I bet you I relisted that car for that old man. Huh. I might have to take a break here for 1 second, guys, and check this message, but it might cost that to make all of that with the bag, the time, the energy. Thanks for adding the other costs, because I think you'd be close to $8 to $10 in just food alone. It would cost to produce this in here, because this is lighter. This is more food than it looks like because it's freeze dried. You know, it doesn't really shrink, and that's the nice thing about freeze-dried food. It keeps its shape, but this would be a lot more. So I think that's somewhere close between probably $18 to $20 with the cost of food right now to buy the bag. You know what I'm saying? To buy the oxygen absorber, the time, the gas, the dishes, the cooking, the soap, the time, the energy. This is a good deal, guys. I thought when I first bought it, those are kind of expensive, man. No, they're not. No, they're not. The other thing that you gain, brothers and sisters, that I want to tell you why you want to capture this is something that I figured out very early in the game when I started doing this. I bought Harvest Right's, one of their first freeze dryers. It's called a medium now. I don't even know they got more of them, but that was the biggest one they had at the time. Brothers and sisters, this takes all the time that you prepare this out. It's done already for you. So actually, when I prepared a lot of my stuff that I made meals like this. Actually, I did make a lot of meals like this, and it's okay because I knew we were going into a solar minimum. I made a lot of soups. I'm seriously, I looked back and I forgot. I made a lot of soups. I mean, I bet you half of my food storage for meals were like soup. But then I mixed it with a hearty base soup, and it's a very heavy meat. I went very heavy meat based on my soups. That way, either way, you can do raw or cooked. The difference between doing this, brothers and sisters, as opposed to like drying food, because of the 100 to 130 degree temperatures, like drying it on a rock or something like that, like the natives did, you lose between 15 to 20%, maybe even up to 30% of the nutrition out of the food. Gone. It's gone. You don't lose that in a freeze dryer. You only lose less than 3% of the nutrition because it doesn't heat if you're doing raw. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing raw steak, and I'm telling you, Lady in Red, if I took a steak and they were from the same cut, 2 T-bones, right? And I freeze dried this one and I left that one raw, okay? And it stayed in the fridge, or I took that and cut it, and then I took that steak and then I repurposed it or rehydrated the steak. I found just adding a little bit of beef bouillon, because it does take all the moisture out. You got just this dry T-bone now. If I hydrated that steak and gave you the 2 steaks, I don't think you could tell the difference between the 2. The texture doesn't change. The nice thing about freeze drying raw foods is you don't lose the nutrition. So you're gaining the nutrition. No, this is not like jerky. This is not like jerky. It turns everything into literally like cardboard. I mean, there's nothing. It just dry as a bone. So I like you do cannabis. You go cannabis. You want to get it as dry as you can before you do the curing process for medicinal cannabis. You got to get it as dry as you can. So there's no moisture in this. What is that? So the thing that I like about this, okay, is that this, you lose less than 3% of the nutrition. So this is all about, so if you can something like I have, like I've got canned, like pressure canning. I have canned things. That takes away up to 40% of your nutrition is lost because of the heat. So this is one of the greatest ways to store and lock in your protein and nutrition, because of the temperature being cooler, and it just barely warms the trays up just enough to let off for the vapor out of the food, and that sticks to the freeze drying is very simple. It's not a complex, oh my God, it's a space, they didn't bring, never mind. So I do want to tell you the benefit of what I found, though. If you're in a time where you are in a preparedness situation, not Mad Max, not that bad, but things are really rough, do you think you're going to have time to prepare all this? So buying a freeze dryer now and making your own food, what you're doing is you're taking your time. It's a time machine. It's a time machine. You're taking your time now, and later you'll already have that time spent here. So all you got to do is heat water and eat. Heat and eat. You can eat it raw. You can eat it cold. You can eat it hot. Okay? And then you're not preparing. You're not going to have time to prepare food. You ain't going to grow no garden. Nobody's going to grow no gardens. That's the other funny thing. Use your seeds for, you could try. Oh yeah, good luck going a whole season with nobody would come in and stealing your stuff. It's working seeds, though. It's worth a try. It's worth the effort. So these, again, are worth your time. Is not your time more valuable later? Getting that time, it's all locked up in this bag. It's there. It's prepared. It's already cooked. It's already ready to go. It is a meal ready to eat, MRE. Not a military ration. And those are fun to eat too, just to mix in. And I have some of those too, but they're heavy, bulky. These are light. You can put 5 or 6 of these in a backpack, and go about your business. It's not going to add any weight. You put 5 MREs. That I've been a veteran. Just one of them in there sucks. So a couple of them suck. A few of them, oh my goodness, you've definitely, God, take some of these out of here. I got all this other stuff in here with it. So these, I believe these are so valuable because you're not going to have time to cook anything. And if you did, it's going to be tough. This is already prepared. How can you put a price on that? Doesn't that make it more valuable? Does that not make that more valuable than even all the benefits? I like the idea of making your own. Then you don't have to buy what they have. You can manipulate and buy what quality or put whatever you want and do whatever you want. So this is a great idea. Going with your neighbor, split it. If you live in town and you're hooked up to the grid and you don't have a freeze dryer, you're an idiot. You should be freeze drying this stuff. It does pay for itself. So the time you gain and get back later, that will be more valuable than the cost now. It will. You're not even thinking about the time cost. What would you rather have, time or money? What would you rather have, time or money? Put it in the chat. Time or money? You ain't gonna be worried about money later. You're gonna want that time, and now you get it back. You time machine. It's like a time machine. Suspend in animation, if you will. Say, I'm going to do all this cooking. And then another thing is a lot of the nice things. You could get warmers. You could take and put a hand warmer in this thing, I'm pretty sure, and put it in a plastic bag so don't have any issues, and warm this thing up with a hand warmer. Now you're not giving off a heat signature, lighting a fire. So you just need to bring water up to, not even boiling, and let it sit in this bag. It's got Mylar in it, so it will cook in this bag. And now you ain't giving out any heat signature. So, oh my goodness. So, but anyways, brothers, sisters, this is a way to not have to cook later. And if you ask me, you can't put a price on that. You cannot put a price on that. To be able to have that stuff prepared already, ready to go. And all you got to do is you can eat it cold. I ate it out of that chicken and stuff, and it was off the chain out of the bag without having any water in it. Then I put water in it, hot water, and it was just absolutely wonderful. So, look at how these things fit in there. It's like they were made to go in these buckets. Look at that. Boom. So, be wise, virgin. Put up extra oil. I think it's awesome. You don't have to go that deep, guys. You can just buy rice and beans and put it in a bag and set it and forget it and don't worry about it. Okay, you don't need to go fancy. You don't need to have all these things. Just as long as you can make it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months off the system. So if and when they do completely break down completely, not a matter of if, when they do, you'll have something, for that rainy day, put it away and go, man, I'm glad that I took the time to, it's like this. I forgot that I'd even bought this. And I never even imagined when I bought all this stuff that I'd be using it. I mean, I knew I would eat from what I had, but it was for a bigger community. And now I have this, I look at this and I'm like, wow, thank you, Father, for putting all this away. It's proof that, a savings account, if you take the time and you do something like this, it can pay off. So we just kind of had the discussion about all the different meals that we could have if I just had one person with me that wants to go with me to the woods. Well, now I'll go fish and try to trap while you go try to collect, and gather, right? I'll hunt, you gather. I'll trap, you gather. Tomorrow you hunt, I'll gather the next day. And then we could add, I could probably fish and hunt and gather too, but if we're separated and we're not too far apart where we can even kind of hear each other from earshot or a whistle or something, we don't get too far off. 2 heads are better than one. We're going to be able to collect. I'm not worried about, even if I had all this food that was sharing with somebody, it'd be a guarantee we would both eat if we didn't get anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, freeze-dried coffee. They make all kinds of things are freeze-dried. Those Lucky Charms that you had those are freeze-dried. Those things that have been freeze-dried you've eaten before, you just didn't know they were. So freeze-dryer has been around a long time. But you don't need to go all out, brothers. Please don't go try to buy any of this stuff, okay? Buy rice and beans first. Get those big bags of rice and big bags of beans and put them in the Mylar. Break them down, get some bags, and put 4 or 5 buckets in your thing. And if you don't want to go any further, that's fine. You're going to be better off than most people. The natives live just off of fish and rice, right? Some of these Asian Oriental people live for 100+ years, and all they eat is fish and rice. Fish and rice, that's it. Put some beans in it with it, 7 mil Mylar. You want to be don't buy any thinner than a 7 mil Mylar. These are thick bags, guys. Those are thick bags, but you don't want to puncture that seal. The second it gets oxygen in it, it's going to have a chance to go bad. You don't want any oxygen in it. So don't buy one of those things that shrinks up your bag. I don't like those things. None of those bags you see, or any of these shrunk up, look like one of those vacuum sealers. No. Oh, I got to get all the air out of it. No, you don't. There's an oxygen absorber that will take all the oxygen that's in that bag out of there. It's iron filings is all it is in that bag, so you know. It's just basically iron, oxidized iron, rusty iron in a bag. Absorbs all the air out of the, so you don't have to go all the way out to do these bags. Get this started. Get a base. Get 5 or 6 buckets of rice and beans. That way you're not going to starve. You can help your neighbor out, and then start. And like I said, you might not know this, but this can be purchased on the food snap cards, the food stamp cards. This can be purchased. No, you can't get prepared food on food stamp cards. Yes, you can. You can also buy seeds. You can also buy vegetable starts in the beginning of the spring. And you can also buy fruit trees. So you can buy these on the EBT card. Yes, you can. You can. And I think if somebody lived on the streets, this would be a good way for them to be able to have something that's light. No, these. I had the chicken and turkey dinner, or the turkey dinner earlier, and it was fabulous. It was excellent. Really, I haven't tried any of these. I forgot that I got these, but I'm so glad that I have them now. I really am, because I would be able to go on the road and bring food with me and not have the cost of the food, which is going to be very expensive on the road. Now I don't have to worry about that. I bring that and I supplement that with some squirrel or some trout or some rabbit or some whatever I can find, whatever I can hunt or gather. And I actually try to pass I'm sure there's days that I'm not going to try to add anything to it. Well, let's just cook this with what we have and don't need anything out of the bags today. We got enough stuff to eat, just what we found for today. And we might even have enough for tomorrow. That was so good. That turkey dinner was so freaking good this morning, man. That was so good. I had it for breakfast. It was good. I still remember the taste of it. I want to go sniff that bag. It smells just like freaking, I want to go there, but like a Thanksgiving dinner. So we put rice and beans. That's yep. So you don't need to go all out with this fancy stuff. This is just really good food. And if you can get to it where you have it, great. If not, you're not going to die. You're not going to starve. You start adding beef bouillon, chicken bouillon, tomato bouillon, seasoning to just rice and beans. You can make it. We talked about that in the last live stream. You could make this rice 5, 10, 10 different ways. But it's just by adding different flavors to the rice. By adding a bouillon, a stock, a chicken, and I'm talking about a rub, not the liquid, but the actual, bouillon. Add beef bouillon, add tomato bouillon, add chicken bouillon. They even made, I haven't seen them forever. Maybe I have some put up somewhere and I just don't remember, and I probably do. But I have chicken bouillon, or excuse me, cilantro bouillon. Cilantro bouillon. You guys ever see cilantro bouillon? Little cilantro bouillon. I got them in years. But lots of things like that, brothers, sisters. Lots of things like that. You can add flavor to that bag of rice and beans and have it a bunch of different ways. So you're not just eating rice and beans, so to speak. So think about that. Like I said, these are things right now that are going to help you in the long run, so you're not struggling. And I thank the Father so much, for, look, I still put more in there. All those are in there, and I could still fit more in there. I could bag and put another 5 or 6 of those meals inside that bag. So I probably fit, if I squeezed them in there, I could probably put even more. Like, yeah. So thank you, Father, for being wise and having this store, because this will help keep my costs down. And I think I'll be able to live on the road here and come back and not be struggling. Where am I going to come up with the costs for all this food while I'm on the road? I'm going to take the food I have with me. And I bet you I couldn't even take, if I loaded my truck now with as much food as I could. I didn't last night because I went to bed early, but they were here. Let's go out there and look. Hey, easy pants. Come on, Dick. Come on, baby. Yeah, the whole sky is lit up. Purple and red, and it's pretty strong out there. Can't imagine what it would be like if you've never seen those before in your life and you saw those. That would definitely make you I remember my first time I saw the Northern Lights. I lived in Alaska. I was like, whoa. Yeah, oh yeah. It's all that whole sky, all right here in the. It's just nothing but red. It's a. You can see big stripes going through the sky. I've seen Northern Lights a bunch, so they don't. But you ain't seen nothing, brothers and sisters, compared to what you're going to see. Jalapeno and tomato pizza. And we got a big old fire over there. You can see the orange. It's good pizza. Nice thick pizza. So we're going to see more. We're going to actually get more because this is coming from the X9.1 solar flare that we had a few days back. We just had 2 more solar flares that shot at that comet Atlas that just came close to the sun. Go watch Nemesis Maturity, Nemesis Maturity, and look at his video on that last 2. Jesse from BP, Real BP Earthwatch, he has a video out on that comet right now on Comet Atlas as well. You're supposed to see it. I went out and looked for it, but I don't know which direction it's coming from. I didn't. But pretty awesome if you've never seen the Northern Lights, man. What an amazing time to be on this rock where you could be down in Texas and see the Northern Lights. That hadn't happened since like the 1800s. So right now we're probably having G4 geomagnetic storms. No, I'm out in the middle of the largest dark sky sanctuary in the world. So this is one of the best places to see the stars anywhere in the world. So I got a nice clear view of the stars out here. There's so many stars out tonight, brothers and sisters. I can't see the stars, the constellations. It's one of those nights. It's really hard to see the constellations because there's no moon out there. I think we've gotten 7 days now without our moon, brothers and sisters. 7 days without a moon. Yeah, there's videos of that. And now there's videos of FEMA. Actually, there's a lady who's worked for FEMA as a handler doing recovery and rescue, more recovery now. She said that they're watching these people who are confiscating these donations and they're giving them to migrants. Stealing them from the hurricane victims and giving them to the immigrants. That's going on. That's going on. It's getting just over the top. Anybody who trusts this government's my enemy. Anybody who licks these cops' boots is my enemy. Anybody who doesn't give, like when I went into town today, I saw that tyrant Josh Bezos. I'm like, you cop sucker, right in the middle of the gas station. He turned around, he looked at me. I said, yeah, I'm talking to you, you tyrant. Everybody and the rest was like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's talking to the cop like that. I'm like, get out, you bootlickers. I believe everything real person coming on social media is, are you trying to be derogatory there, Divinity? Towards what I said? Are you throwing shade on what I said? Because I believe in doing lots of research. Absolutely, I have no problems with that. Was that what you were trying to? Okay. Because there's nothing wrong with triplicating anything. And I agree with what you said. But that's a good source. And there's been multiple people, multiple officers saying, even police officers saying, don't give your stuff to FEMA, they'll take it. You know, and they were only taking cash donations at one point. Don't bring us anything unless it's on our list. And as of this point, we're only taking cash donations. Really? Yeah, really. So this government is rogue and needs overthrown. F Dolly Parton. I can't stand that witch. I wish I could cut her head off. And I'm glad I'm not Old Testament, because I would. But I'm New Testament, so there's no threat to her life. Guaranteed. That lady's a witch. Remember how much she stood with a jab? Remember how many times she told you to take the jab, Dolly Parton? I rebuke her. She's famous. She's going to hell. All famous people go to hell. Yeah, I can't stand her. I really don't like Dolly Parton at all. Especially after, I'll get your damn, you stinker. She did it with her stupid, whatever that, oh man, I wanted to freaking off with her head. If there's an upper atmosphere pressure, do you think there could be high atmospheric electric charging? What part of the layer are you talking about there, David? There's many layers. I told you, many layers of our atmosphere. Oh, they're all outside. The kitties are all outside now. I kicked the kitties out. So they got to get winterized. If they go to a farm, they got to be able to not be all coddled in here. So you're doing good, though. Mom has been bringing them and teaching them how to hunt. I've seen them out there dragging a freaking sage rat nearly as big as the We just had a new one spark up today, right across the. Get that fire still going. Titties inside and show these titties. To the titties or the kitties outside. Look at the kitties. Hi there, am I getting so bigger? Look at me, I'm getting bigger like my mama. So cute too. Aren't I cute? I told you this is the one I just fell in love with this one. She's so cute. She's so cute. And look at this little face on this little girl. Isn't she just darling? She's so cute. They love the dad. They love the dad. Oh, pardon me. They love the dad. Oh, my little girls that I love. Look at this one. Oh my gosh, I just fell in love with this one. I don't know why. No, I haven't seen them do their eyes yet. I haven't seen any light bulbs turn on in their eyes. But they're just so lovely. I know, huh? Look how big they've been eating every day, eating mice and rats, and there's no rats here. But look at this one and her cute little paws. Her cute little paws. She's so sweet. She's just a sweetie pie. She's a sweet girl. And let's see you. This one's just sitting over here. You sit over here, and then we're gonna let everybody look at you. Look at this. We have a little, like a little diamond face here. With a little line. We just have the weirdest little markings. Look at that little, you're a funny looking little kitty girl. Look at these little lips you got here, little pretty girl. You sure are pretty little girl. I wish I could keep you girls. I wish I could keep you girls. I wish I could keep you. You're so pretty girls. See how feral they are? They're just feral, aren't they? Just running all over the place. This one's just hanging out my lap. Look at this one's chin. You're all so cute. I think this one's got the half and half stripe down the belly. This one probably got it too. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at those cute little paws. Aren't it? This one's she's getting so big. She's just a doll. I love this one so much. I don't know why I love her so much. She's just so sweet looking. You are just the cutest little, you're the cutest little kitten girls. All right, you girls want to go back outside with your other sissies? They're probably wondering where you're at. All right, gotta say bye. Gotta say bye. Or we've got the funny faces. There are funny faces. We just got funny faces. Yeah. Yeah, battery's plugged in. So, aren't they getting big though? Fast. Look how big they're getting. They're getting so big. These are all girls. She had 4 girls. 4 girls. I have more girls on the property than I've ever had. You guys are so feral. You're such feral little kitties. You're so feral. You're just being so crazy. I love them. I love their energy. Oh, we got a wagging tail. It's the solar storms, guys. So my bad. So, all right, let me go put these little girls out. Say bye, girls. Say bye, girls. Bye, girls. We're just gonna fall asleep in Dad's arms here. We're so feral. You're so cute. Or they get both. They eat a lot of lamb and rice and what they kill. They always get both. They get a lot of food. These guys are getting just as much as the dogs now. They're eating just as much as the dogs. Oh, we're going to move around a little bit. You decided to move around a little bit? Oh, they're so cute. Oh, I got no ladies to love on, so I love on my little kitties. They're such sweet little girls. You kids are sweet. I love these little girls. You guys are being good girls. Here you go, little girls. Here you go, little girls. Aren't they lovely, though? Aren't those just lovely little kitties? They were going to make somebody happy. happy, happy little home. So I know some people that are pretty well off out here, and they take good care of their animals, and they have separate barns for the cats, and they have, you know, their barn cats, and they live in the barns. They have a place out of the weather and stuff. So we use them as service animals out here. Yeah, these ladies hunt like they're savages. I think the female cats are stronger hunters overall than the male cats. Yes, I did sell the tractor. It took me kind of all day to do the deal, but I did ended up getting it done, the implements, and didn't bust my back trying to get the that 300 plus pound implement on. We're getting some of the solar storms coming in, guys. So I think I'm losing my signal. Just pretty pixely here. I'll wrap up the stream. I don't want to keep you guys all night. Ready? Huh. Yeah. Food storage put away. Get your bag ready, you know. Get your solar lights, get all your headlamps, get all these extra little preps in place. I had to tape my my little thing the other day, but that's all right, no worries. A little tape on it, but I redid that bad boy. Boom. Look at that. So get yourself a headlamp, guys. These are really extremely valuable. I live off the grid, and you can't put a price on something like this. Hands free. Boom. Now you're working. You got both your hands. So something that's extremely valuable. Look at that. I see through my hands. Look at that, guys. That's pretty bright. So all these little extra preps, the little things that you can do to just make life easier. This actually comes off of here. And can be used like a hand flashlight if needed to be. Off of this holder here. And that allows it to point up or down. Hands free. Things like this are going to make all the difference in the world. So get all your preps in place, brothers and sisters. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. This connection's not holding right now, and I know what it is. It's just solar wind. You have a good evening. Links are in the description if you want to support the ministry. If anything in here you feel $2. So I appreciate all your time tonight, guys. That is tied to the ministry. Once again, money can be here tonight. Much love, brothers and sisters. Be ready. Go outside tonight, and there is geomagnetic storms happening right now. So if you're not in the city, please go out and enjoy. It's not a good thing what we're seeing here. It's nice to look, but it's not a good sign when we see low latitude auroras like this, guys. That's an issue. So I see a progression in intensity. So if you're not getting to see them tonight, you will get to see them. You're going to get to see the northern lights probably before you pass, and a good show. So lots of things are going to continue probably over these next 18 days to electrically connect and light up. So don't be surprised if we start seeing some other celestial bodies out of nowhere, or things light up as we magnetically connect to these 4 large gas giants on 10-24-24. So 16 days, somebody said something. That's unbelievable how close we are getting to this. So let's ride this out, and we'll all hopefully be here on 10/25, 24, right? We never said it was going to be the end of the world. Nobody in here ever said this was the end of the world. So for the record, I hope, brothers and sisters, on 10/25, 24, we're all here. And every one of us, and we could say, hey, we made it through this event, and well, this happened and this happened, but I don't believe that there's this event that I'm talking about is something that you need to fear. Okay. Just get ready, prepared for weather more than anything. Your spiritual house more than anything. But that's what I'd be more worried than the government, the cops, I get ready for weather. You know, weather's displacing people every day now on this rock. More and more people are getting displaced from weather. So eventually weather will dominate this rock, brothers and sisters. It will dominate. Nobody's going to care who this pretending is or borders or even ethnicity. No, they're not. No, they're not. And that's, like I said, we're kind of already starting to tip into this time where it's going to start to get easier to die than it is to stay alive. So you're going to have to be away from chaos. If you have a chance right now to exit out of the cities, I would please ask you to patiently, methodically think about it and get out of the cities. Please get out of these cities, guys. You can't even see the northern lights. You can't, not hardly at all. You can't see the stars. That sucks. So get out of the city. Come out here and buy some land out here where I live. I got some land for sale. If you want to buy some land, get a hold of me. Predestined4light on gmail.com here at the channel video. So always Agape. See you on the next live stream. Thanks for bringing me. I am Apocalypse. I am Revelation. Whoa.